it's my pleasure to introduce Judy Gordon, Doctor of Veterinarian Medicine, who brings 25 years plus of experience in the ophthalmology field and experience in pharmaceuticals, biologics, medical devices, to her consulting practice called ClinReg Consulting Services. She's been involved in clinical and regulatory development in a broad range of ophthalmic drugs and devices, including glaucoma implants, conventional and accommodating and phakic IOLs, femtosecond excimer and glaucoma lasers, as well as drug delivery systems, to name a few. Her projects outside ophthalmology are numerous as well. And she and her team at ClinReg have brought many, many products through the FDA process, one which was approved today, by the way. And she has served... And she has served as the industry representative to the Ophthalmic Devices Advisory Panel and to the Dispute Resolution Advisory Panel of the Center for Devices and Radiologic Health. Now, when she's not busy working, she enjoys being with her husband, Roger, and their 4 children and grandchildren. Roger is a retired corneal surgeon. Can I say that? Yes, some of you may know Roger. Myers, and they spend time in their 2 favorite places, Michigan and California. Judy's a strong supporter of OWL, and she's been instrumental in providing generous support and financial donation to our pilot project, which is Southern California OWL chapter, our first one to be a regional organization for this national organization. So Judy, your turn.
Thank you, Marcia. I'm feeling better about following Netta. That was good. It's always good to go first. I almost called you about that, but the introduction made up for it. So I'm really happy to be here at this symposium, and as Marcia mentioned, I'm a huge supporter of women, and my career in large part has been as successful as it has been because I was able to engage with so many people along the way who were big fans of women and wanted to see women do well and move along. So a little bit about my background. I'm the daughter of Holocaust survivors, and I'm proud to be a first-generation American. The awe and optimism that my parents had in being Americans is hard to describe. And it left my sister and I with a sense of wonder about being in this country. And my dad used to say at every election, girls, this is maybe the only one of the few countries in the world where people take their children to the polls and there's no guns or guards, and people leave Washington, new people go to Washington. We don't always like them, but there's going to be a change in another few years, and the peaceful transition of this is a miracle. So I grew up with a huge sense of you can do anything you put your mind to if you work hard and if you're willing to engage with people in a positive way. And it was a great gift from parents who really believed in the American dream. But my dad had a very unique and important message for my sister and I. He never said it, but I knew from our mom that he was somewhat disappointed in not having any sons. So he told us very clearly that we were as smart as any man out there and that we should not let anybody tell us otherwise. And right. I mean, we heard this when we were 5 and 6 years old, so it was just so clear he so wanted us to be empowered, and he so thoroughly believed that there would be those opportunities if we believed in ourselves. So it was just the greatest gift as a kid to have that. And as an aside, he also consistently mentioned that since we were born in the United States, we could be president. To which my mother said, that's a thankless task. Go to medical school. So my mom had some very pithy advice she gave to us as teenagers that was very complimentary to my dad's, and it was her way of trying to help us have confidence. because being a teenage girl in California is no small challenge, especially when you have dark curly hair in a day that everybody had blonde, straight hair, and et cetera. She said something that was profoundly liberating and that I still remind myself in moments of, I wonder if I just screwed up something and the whole world is watching. She said, "No one is thinking about you nearly as much as you are." With emphasis on the no one. She was right. I still sometimes like go into a Starbucks and my coffee spills all over and I'm looking around wondering, and no one is watching. Thank God. So these were really powerful messages. And one would think that I would go out into the world feeling confident, competent, and courageous, but of course, that was not the case. Like everyone else, I had challenges and things that happened to me, especially as a young adult, that were very challenging. I went to veterinary school and realized after 8 years of education and 2 years of a fellowship in emergency medicine that I was having trouble getting out of bed in the morning because the routine was so the same every day and not challenging to me. And I had to face the honest truth that I wasn't especially good at it either, painful as that was. And my dad helped me understand that. He said, "You could be good at this if you cared about it, because you know you're smart, but you have to go find something to do that is meaningful to you." And his dream as in coming to America, he put himself and my mom through college, working as a typewriter mechanic. He ended up heading up the MX missile program for the Navy and Air Force. And so he knew what it meant to be educated. And for me to have to tell him, "Dad, you've now spent, 8 years of education." But he said, "Go find your passion, and your skill set will be transferable." So just as I realized that I needed to make change, my professional life was profoundly transformed by an encounter with a little dog that was very sick, too sick to muzzle. So I thought. And in a moment of very bad judgment, this little dog came to life and literally grabbed onto my hand, hitting, I think, all the nerves and blood vessels right here, and leaving significant damage. So I had to take a few months off of work. And as Freud would say, there are no accidents. Within a few weeks, I had found a position writing for a veterinary journal. And I thought it was just to fill the time until I could go back into the practice and figure out what I was going to do next. But I realized that I had a great transferable skill set, and I was really good at it, and I loved it. And I got out of bed every day with a lot of vim and vigor, and that was a confidence-inspiring moment for me. 2 minutes. Okay. So that organization folded. I ended up going to interview at every company in Southern California that would give me the opportunity to get in front of them, thinking I'd go into pharmaceutical sales. I like people. And I kept getting offers for work in clinical and regulatory. And growing up in a family where you also had to be honest and direct, I was very intent in telling everyone I interviewed with that I had no idea of what this was. I didn't know how to do it, and they all seemed okay with that. So that was another confidence-inspiring moment in a very big way. So with a lot of trepidation, thinking I'm just going to fall on my face, I took a job at a small pharmaceutical company in Southern California, developing a biologic drug. And over 4 years, I learned how to run clinical trials. We wrote 2 new drug applications. I was the slave to a very seasoned senior group at a Baxter, and I learned how to do all this. So the CEO of the company was walked out. There was a securities fraud, insider trading, and a gentleman that I liked a lot at the company came to me and said, "Bill Link is starting a new company in Orange County, and you need to go work for him, even if they hire you for chief janitor. It will change your life. Go work for a high-quality organization with high-quality management." So in 1986, I interviewed with Bill. and I no longer advertised my shortcomings in neon lights, but I did tell him that the only thing I knew about eyeballs was how to enucleate, which was not a winning combination for what they were trying to do, but that's what veterinarians do. So I had at Chiron an incredible cycle of success, and the formula was so powerful. I had an organization of largely women, and at Chiron Corporation level, the company was committed to making sure that at each of their divisions, they had a woman executive. And at Chiron Vision, I was that woman. And the confidence inspiring, or whatever the verb is, that comes from people having that belief in you was so profound that I got busy doing what I knew how to do and stopped worrying about what I didn't know how to do. And I stopped really just having the kind of profound anxiety about, oh no, what's happening now? I started consulting in 1998 after Chiron was acquired by B&L, and I've never looked back. And gratefully, with the gift of age, I have the confidence and competence to know that I have made and can continue to make what I think is a meaningful contribution to my community and our world of ophthalmology that's so marvelous in every way. Thank you.